Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Doing Real Estate Smart, real estate education for common buyers and sellers. My name is Rick, and in this episode we're covering the duties a realtor owes to his or her clients. So as a realtor, we are considered fiduciaries. Fiduciaries by definition means a faithful servant. So when you hire a realtor, say for instance to assist you in purchasing a home, that your realtor is going to owe you very specific fiduciary duties. And that's exactly what we're covering here. And the first fiduciary duty is loyalty. The agent owes undivided loyalty to the client and puts the client's interest above his or her own. So a very simple example, you're a buyer and you're interested in purchasing a home. You hire a realtor. Your realtor will put your interest, which is to purchase a home, at the best price possible. Well, they're going to put that interest above their own interest and anybody else's interest. So that's what basically loyalty defines there. The next one is disclosure. The agent must disclose to the client any information he or she receives that may benefit the client's position in a negotiation. So a very simple example. Again, you're a buyer, you have your realtor comes across some information that the buyer would be willing to take a lower offer than what is listed. Then your realtor can then needs to take that information. They need to take that information. They're obligated to, and present that information to you, so you guys can then use it in your negotiation when it comes down to setting up an offer for that property. Does that make sense? The third one is confidentiality. The agent must keep confidential any information given to him or her by their client, especially information that may be damaging to the client in a negotiation. So, say for instance, again, you're a buyer, you have your agent, you disclose to the buyer that you would be willing to pay more for a specific property than what is listed. Now, unless you actually give your agent the okay to go ahead and disclose that information to the seller or the listing agent or anybody else, your agent should not say anything to anybody. Does that make sense? That's what confidentiality is all about. Now, there is an exception here. Say, for instance, you're a seller and there's certain issues with the property. Then as a realtor, by law, we're supposed to disclose that information to the buyer and the buyer's agent as well. So you can't, as a seller, tell your realtor issues with a property and then also tell them not to disclose that information. That's by law, that's illegal. As well as the seller legally should be disclosing this information to the buyers and the sellers as well. You shouldn't be keeping any of that information a secret, or keeping that information from your realtor or from the buyer or listing or buyer's agent. Does that make sense? So that is confidentiality. The third one is reasonable care and diligence. The agent must use all of his or her skills to the best of their ability on behalf of the client. So when it comes down to it, as realtors, we're supposed to execute our skills within the scope of our profession. All right. So we have to do the best we can for our clients when it comes down to a real estate transaction. The only exception there is that we have to keep it within the scope of our profession. Okay. So if you are needing legal advice, then as a realtor, I would go ahead and recommend that you speak to a real estate lawyer to seek that legal advice. Does that make sense? I can only really execute anything within my own profession. Anything beyond that, I'm actually breaking the law there. Does that make sense? So the next one is accounting. The agent must account for all funds entrusted to him or her and not combine clients' funds with their personal or business funds. This also includes the delivery of the deed or the title of the home or the property, So for a simple example is just earnest money. Many times when the clients, or you as a client, when you're supposed to put up front this earnest money, you give the check to your realtor, and then the realtor delivers it to the title company or whoever is holding the funds in an escrow or a trust account. Does that make sense? So by law, we're supposed to deliver those funds for you, and we shouldn't be messing with those funds in any other way. And the final one is obedience. An agent is obligated to obey promptly and efficiently all lawful instructions by his or her principal. So I kind of emphasize on lawful. Yes, anything you ask us to do as your realtor, we're supposed to execute and get done as long as it's within the scope of our profession, one. And two, as long as it's legal, of course. You know, if a seller, for example, tells me that I shouldn't disclose the specific issues that the property has to the buyer or the buyer's agent, then that's illegal and I cannot obey that. Does that make sense? But if they ask me to keep certain information confidential, such as the fact that they're willing to take a lower price than what's listed, then that obviously is just fine, because it goes along with me being with the duty of confidentiality. Does that make sense? So those are the 6 fiduciary duties that realtors owe to their clients. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, this is Doing Real Estate Smart, real estate education for common buyers and sellers. This channel is designed to educate common consumers in real estate topics such as this one here. So if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you want notifications of future videos, go ahead and hit the notification button, subscribe, and if you have any comments, any questions, feel free to leave those below. If you go to the description below as well, you'll see a link to our website where we have all these videos uploaded as well, and we have even more information as well as real estate services if you're in need of those. Again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.